Hello spoons. Today I'm going to teach you about how to prepare to dual boot your computer. And I have disk management up here. You go to your Windows and I guess search for it. Or search for it in Cortana or whatever. Anyway, just type in partition and select this one, create and format partitions. And you go to disk management. And you make sure this is your Windows, the primary partition. This is the very first partition. This is the recovery partition. These two are Linux. This is the swamp. I have a lot of swamp space. And this is my main Linux partition. I do recommend your Linux partition be at least 100 gigs because you can install a lot of stuff on there, and for it to be nice and have a lot of space to do that, I would recommend around 100 gigs. If you don't have that much space, it's fine. I just recommend that. Anyway, if you have a ton of space, originally in your Windows, if you have Windows installed, you could shrink it to recommend 300 if you have like a terabyte. So if you have like 500 or 300, you could shrink it down to 100 or 200. So, since this isn't particularly helpful in viewing all the Linux partitions, since it's very unclear as to what they are because Windows is just dumb, I have this tool called ext2, which I can mount the extension for ext4 type partitions. So I'm going to tell you how Grub works. Grub works as it overwrites your very first data on your hard drive, which tells the BIOS, the very first thing that the computer runs when it starts up, how to, like, if the drive is bootable or not. When I say bootable, it means it has an operating system on it and it will be able to open up the operating system and be able to run it. However, after we install Linux, it installs Grub, usually, and Grub installs a pointer in the MBR which points to the Grub files, which tell which partitions can boot. That's basically how a bootloader works if it's larger than the MBR partition, the very first sector of your hard drive. Anyway, I guess I'll tell you about the BIOS. You have to set up your BIOS a certain way. You have to turn off safe boot. I don't know if that still applies to the newer operating systems, but when I first researched still booting, safe boot had to be turned off. I'll also tell you about the difference between legacy and UEFI. Legacy is when you have... It's actually really weird. Legacy is the old kind of way how the operating system boots up, and UEFI is the new way. And it just came out a few years ago. UEFI is on this computer, and that's why it has the FE first partition. Let me show that to you. It says FE. That's how you know you have UEFI, and you can turn Legacy and UEFI. They're on UEFI usually. There's like a switch for Legacy boot and UEFI boot, and it's just really weird. You can't mix them because if you boot in one, it will pretty much, for the next time it boots, it will boot in that mode. And if you try to boot in Legacy mode into a UEFI kind of installation, it will have an error. So that's why they don't mix very well. So I recommend you stick with one or the other, because it's really inefficient to keep switching. Okay? And basically, a lot of computers don't come with CD drives anymore, so that really is not good. So I'm gonna look up Rufus, which is one of my favorite tools to use. USB burner. It's this one. rufus.iko.ie. From this website you can download Rufus, which is my favorite USB burner. You can get an ISO file from Ubuntu or some other Linux site, or you could download the ISO from Windows with the media creation tool. So basically how it works is you insert your USB, and you're going to lose all your data on that USB, so back it up or something like that. And you choose your disk file .iso or something similar, like floppy file, something weird, and you select it. Well, you select your USB, and then you select start. Then it will go through it and it'll say ready when it's done. And then when you go, make sure before you click start, you check which boot pattern you have. You can click on both if you're not sure, UEFI and Legacy, MBR, Gpart. So yeah, MBR and Gpart are two different kinds of disk layouts. When you have Gpart, you can have as many partitions as you want, but when you have MBR, you can only have 4 primary partitions. And right now I have like a ton of them. So on my old computer I could only have 4 main partitions or 3 primary partitions and an extended partition, in which I could have a bunch of logical partitions, which don't count as primary for some reason. It's weird. So that's pretty much it as far as dual booting. Just make sure you don't delete your Windows. Always install Windows first. If you install Windows after you install Linux, there is a way you could install Grub. You have to have an Ubuntu live USB You plug it in, you boot it up, you install grub on that USB, you reboot, and it'll boot into grub, and then you select Ubuntu, or whatever Linux you have, and then you install grub on that native installation. So that's how you install grub after you install Windows after installing Linux without losing your data. So that should be it. All there is to know about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like, subscribe, and whatever. Share, please.